But welcome to everyone who joined. So, I want to talk about the Skiff situation and what has happened. On Friday, I got an email, and the subject line started with an important update regarding Skiff, and my heart sank. Anytime I've gotten an email that says an important update regarding, it's never a good email. So I was like thinking, oh, maybe there's some kind of downtime, or maybe there's some like I don't know, some issue going on. I never would have imagined to open that email and see that not only did they get acquired by Notion, but that in 6 months, they're shutting down all the products. So that was a complete shock to everyone. There were immediately people talking about it on X, on Reddit, lots of users who love Skiff just saying, "What's going on?" I remember seeing a lot of comments on my Skiff content on Friday just saying, "Wait, what? They got acquired, they're shutting down. What do I do? Man, I just moved everything over to Skiff." So it was a complete surprise. And I will say this, I did notice that things seem to get weird with Skiff about 2 weeks leading up to the announcement of the acquisition. Skiff is normally very responsive to my messages when I ask them questions. They've also supported the channel by sharing my content about Skiff all the time. And I just put out a big comparison video about private email services where Skiff was the winner like a week before. I think I put it out on Tuesday, and then they made the announcement on Friday. So I sent the link to them. I was surprised that they didn't share it automatically because normally they're super supportive of my content on their X account. And when I sent them a DM and I didn't get a reply, I was like, this is odd. This is just uncharacteristic of them. Normally they're over the moon about organic content. They know that I'm a big fan of their product. So I thought that was kind of odd, but I didn't think too much of it. You know, people are busy. Maybe they have some product launch going on that they're working on. Well, it turns out they're working on an acquisition announcement. So they put the news out. They got a lot of backlash. And just to clarify, this is all Skiff products that are being sunset. Skiff Mail, Drive, Pages, Calendar, all 4 products are being sunset in 6 months. And the reason that they got a lot of backlash in particular is because it was not clear at all on their website whether they were even shutting down. So I'm going to share my screen here. I want the other option. There we go. Is that what Sorry, I don't live stream much, as you guys can tell. That's what I want to do. Yeah, so I want to share my screen here, and this is the landing page that Skiff put up as soon as they announced the acquisition. Now, in order to see that they're shutting down, in order to fully understand what's happening, you have to scroll all the way down to this little link that says learn about migrating your data, and you click it. Okay, with the Notion acquisition, what happens to my Skiff accounts? Okay. Oh, right here. Okay. We will be closing down Skiff product suite after a 6-month sunset period. Why is that so buried? And a lot of users were asking Skiff for clarification, saying, what does that mean? Does that mean it's transitioning to a Notion product in 6 months? Does that mean that everything gets shut down after 6 months? And the general consensus is everything gets shut down after 6 months, because it says for the next 6 months, Skiff services will continue to operate without disruption and users can freely duplicate, migrate, or export data. You can now also set up a forwarding address to redirect mail to any other provider. So there's a lot of questions around that. Does that mean that the forwarding address is going to function indefinitely? If you had an @skiff.com email address, is that going to stop working after 6 months? Is the forwarding going to continue working for years down the road? There's a lot of questions. And so Skiff got a lot of backlash about this. And I'm going to go to their X account here. I thought it was /Skiff. Well, I wanted to show their tweet. Maybe they've got it in their footer. No? Okay. Well, they put out a post on X saying, hey, we hear you. We understand that a lot of users are upset, and we're going to extend the sunset period from 6 months to 12 months. Well, that sounds great, except they haven't updated it on their website, and that kind of has me concerned. Are they actually going to honor it? Just because they posted it to X doesn't necessarily mean they're going to honor what they said. And the fact that they didn't update their website concerns me. So I see there's a lot of activity going on in the chat. I'm going to get to all these comments soon, but I just wanted to get through a little bit about what happened, what are some of the alternatives, and then we can open it up for the chat and some Q&A. So that's what's happening. Skiff is shutting down. It does not seem like they're immediately transitioning to a Notion product. If they do launch a Notion product down the road, like Notion Mail, Notion Pages, anything like that, you are going to have to sign up as a new customer. They've made it very clear that your data is not going to be automatically migrated. Now, here's something that could be happening, because I shared earlier that my theory is they're not going to be launching a mail product, or they're not going to rebrand, because why would they do that and shut down all the customer accounts? It could be that Skiff is concerned enough about user data and privacy that, due to the nature of what Skiff is and what they stand for, maybe they just weren't willing to sell the data to Notion in the acquisition. So maybe 6 to 12 months down the road, we will see Notion launch a mail product, but Skiff just wasn't going to automatically migrate your data. I don't know. I still think that's a more optimistic view. To me, it doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen, but this is all just speculation at this point. So Skiff is sunsetting. Everyone's got to find a new place for their email, and if you use Skiff Drive, you got to find a new cloud storage service. So what are some alternatives? Well, there's a couple routes that I see forward depending on your use case and what's important to you. So a lot of users loved Skiff because they had a very generous free plan. If you had a custom domain, they were one of the only email providers, not just PGP email providers, but only email providers that would offer free custom email hosting. That's one of the things that really made Skiff stand apart from the rest. So if having a free account is important to you, unfortunately, you're not going to find another provider that is both PGP encrypted and supports custom email hosting. You're going to have to pick one or the other. So if it has to be a free account and you want PGP encrypted email, and that is most important to you over a custom domain, I think Proton Mail is the way to go. Now, I've shared some concerns about Proton Mail in the past about their privacy reputation, but I can't deny, if you just need a free account that supports PGP encryption and you want something that is reliable, high quality, has a lot of good features, Proton Mail is kind of your best bet. It is a really well done product. Aside from some of those privacy concerns that I've had with Proton Mail, I think it's honestly a better and more reliable product than Skiff, objectively. I've said that before in my comparisons. I think it's still true. So if you just need a PGP encrypted email and you're willing to let go of the custom domain aspect, I think that Proton Mail is probably your best bet. Now, if you are just using Skiff to get free custom email hosting and the PGP encryption is not that important to you, there is another option that you can consider by Zoho. Zoho Mail, they offer free custom email hosting, but there's a lot of gotchas. Don't be fooled when you click the pricing page. You have to scroll down, and they do have a forever free plan right here. So you get 5 gigabytes of storage per user. That's pretty good. Also up to 5 users, so this could be good if you are a team. The biggest downside to Zoho Free is you are restricted to the web app and mobile apps. So you cannot use IMAP or SMTP in the free plan. Also, it's been a while since I've tested Zoho, so I can't remember if they have ads or not in the free web apps, but I kind of feel like they probably do. Otherwise, why would they restrict it to just the web apps? So there's probably some sort of ads that you're going to see in the web app, but it is an option if you need free custom email hosting. If that's something that is really important to you, you at least have a place that you can migrate to at Zoho. Okay, so what if you're willing to spend some money? What if you just want the best alternative to Skiff for both custom email, PGP email, you just love what Skiff stood for, and you're willing to spend some money on it. Well, honestly, I think if you care about PGP, Proton Mail is still your best option. $3.99 a month if you pay yearly. That's going to get you a custom domain, 15 gigs of storage. Unfortunately, the thing I don't like about this paid option is you still don't get unlimited email aliases. That is technically a Proton Pass feature, so you have to sign up for Proton Unlimited because that's going to get you the upgraded version of Proton Pass. Like if we scroll down right here, 10 hide my email aliases with the paid Proton Mail plan. That's because that's just what you get for free with Proton Pass. If you want unlimited hide my email aliases, you got to cough up for Proton Unlimited, which is pretty expensive. I don't really think that Proton VPN is worth the price personally. This could be worth it for you if you want Proton Drive. You get 500 gigs of storage. Proton Pass is also a solid product as well if you don't need any team features. But overall, I wish that there were more email aliases included in this plan. But just being fully transparent, fully honest, I think that Proton Mail is probably the best option overall if you care about both PGP and a custom email. Now, I have shared some concerns about Proton Mail's privacy in the past, and if that is something that you are particularly concerned about, but you still want the PGP encryption, I think StartMail is probably your next best bet. StartMail is expensive. It is $70 a year if you're going to have a custom domain, $60 a year for a personal email. So that's my biggest reservation with StartMail. It's an expensive subscription. They don't have native desktop or mobile apps. It's only a web client. So if you're going to use PGP encryption and enforce end-to-end encryption, you have to use the web client. They do support IMAP and SMTP if you want to connect an email client, but if you do that, you're not going to be getting the benefits of the PGP encryption. You're essentially just going to have a trustworthy email host that is not selling your data, which could be worth it for some people. But if that's you, if you say, you know what, I really don't need PGP encryption, all I want is a trustworthy email host that's not selling my data because I don't trust Gmail or I don't trust Microsoft, I think you'd be better off at Fastmail. And this is honestly a provider that I am considering migrating to because I've never once used PGP encryption with Skiff. I like the idea. I think it's cool having the encryption, but just being completely honest, I've never used it. And the sell to Fastmail is that they're kind of like an anti-Gmail provider. They're going to protect your data. They're going to keep your mail encrypted on their server. Your email belongs to you. That's kind of the market that they're going after. And if you don't really need that privacy, I do like they offer masked email integration with 1Password. I use 1Password. I'm a big fan. And 1Password is the only password manager, Fastmail is the only provider that supports alias integration with 1Password where you can generate it within your vault. So that's appealing to me. That is very appealing. And looking at the pricing, it's a little bit more than Proton Mail if you pay yearly, $10 a year more, or not even. No. Proton Mail is $48 a year. Fastmail is $50 a year. So $2 a year more. And you're going to get a little bit more trust because, Proton Mail's had some scandals. They've had some incidents in the past with revealing user data to authorities. So those are kind of my thoughts. If you absolutely need a free option, go with Zoho, go with Proton. If PGP encryption and a custom domain are important to you, go with Proton or go with StartMail. And if you don't really care about PGP encryption, you just want to get away from Gmail, Microsoft, and the bigger companies, Fastmail might be a good option for you. So one other thing I want to talk about is kind of what we can learn from this. If you're using a major email provider that is not Google or Microsoft, please don't trust a small provider's domain. One of the big reasons that users are so upset about the Skiff acquisition is many users signed up with an @skiff.com email address, and now that Skiff is shutting down, they're forced to migrate all of their accounts, dozens, maybe even hundreds of accounts they have to log into, change their email address, and that's a big danger when you trust an email provider's domain name that's not Gmail, Microsoft, Yahoo. I mean, let's be frank, these big providers are going to be around till the end of time. I honestly think Gmail is almost like too big to fail in a sense that like there would be serious ramifications, I think even from government entities if they ever tried to shut down at gmail.com addresses. It's never going to happen. But for the smaller providers, Fastmail, Skiff, Proton Mail, Start Mail, any of them, I wouldn't rely on an at fastmail.com email or an at startmail.com email at skiff.com. I just think it's too risky. I think if you're going to trust these providers, that's fine, but you should have a custom domain set up so that way, if you need to migrate to another provider because one shuts down or you just don't like it anymore, you can simply migrate your email hosting and you're not losing your email address. And I think that's been a big lesson through this whole experience is many people trusted Skiff. They were optimistic that it was going to be around for the long run. That didn't turn out to be the case. So that's what I think we can learn from this. Those are my brief thoughts here. Now I'm going